Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm starting this video with a simple thought. What you do isn't always enough. Yesterday, I made a video about how I failed in a broader concept, and we went into the depths of why I failed, what were the sticking points, and then we talked about how I would succeed. And today I did a lot of things. My goal was 10 approaches. It didn't matter girls, guys, it was just 10 approaches. And although I did a lot of approaches today, although I do think that I did a lot of approaches, but it came back to just 7. So what you are thinking that you're doing enough isn't enough. You have to work harder. And now the concept comes, did I enjoy it? And sometimes yes. Did I learn something from it? Of course I did. Was it awkward? Of course. Every bit of it was awkward. But I did find a lot of things about myself. The parts of my brain that were suppressed, the parts I wasn't recognizing about myself. This is what books and videos and tutorials can never teach you. That is about yourself, what you are as a person, as a being, as a consciousness. It can never be taught by videos, tutorials, and any educational stuff you can watch, read, and wrote. When you put yourself out there, out in the world, burning through the suffering, the pain, the awkwardness, the anxiety, you find yourself, you find what you are lacking. Why is the I important? It's a valid question. Why is the I important? Now think about it this way. If you were loving someone wholeheartedly, if you had devotion for your love, if you had that passion, that burning desire for the person you loved, would you be able to stay away from that person for far too long? Imagine you have a pet dog. You have lived with it since your childhood. It's a golden retriever. It was a pup. You were a baby. You played together. You fed him. You had fun together, you went to the park and the dog was playing with you, and you have developed an emotional bond with him. And now you've grown up and you have to move out. Would you be able to just let the dog go? Wouldn't you want to be closer to your brothers, perhaps? It feels like a friend who is very emotionally attached to you. I'm using the example of a dog because love nowadays can be very complex, but the relationship which a dog gives you, it's not loyalty, it's devotion. So if you can't live, if you cannot be away from the one you love for so long, how can you just stay away from yourself? Can you stay away from the eye? How can you not establish a relationship with it and know what it is and know what are its limitations and what are its disadvantages, what are its discrepancies? How can you not understand the layers that go through it? And Sanatana Dharma explains it very well. The yourself, the I, is the God. Everything you look at outside is inside you. Nietzsche, a famous philosopher, said, "The God is everything. It's everything outside." And it is the modern conventional way of thinking of many people in the psychology space that God is everything, God is the universe, God is omnipresent, omnipotent. But in Sanatana Dharma, the Ashtavakra Gita, it says everything there is exists within you. Here I'm giving you something to think about. You are living in a particular place. You can see till a certain place, you can feel till a certain radius, a certain kilometer. If you did not know a single thing about the planet, how the planetary systems work, and about the structure of the earth, the, the world you see with your eyes would be the real world. The point is, you yourself have the God within you, because the God is the one which is omnipotent, which is omnipresent. If you are not present somewhere, then your consciousness is not present. And what Ashtavakra Gita says is that what you see is what you know, is what you believe, and that, my friend, is God. That, my friend, is your consciousness. And within that consciousness lies the God. And I'm not saying it in a religious manner. There are a lot of intellectual people who would be more qualified to speak in those religious terms. But I'm explaining God as I have understood it. A being not defined by the limitation of the human mind, or a being which is defined by our consciousness. This self-satisfaction or self-regret you feel depending upon the work you do or the work you do not, that feeling exists for a reason. Whether you are putting yourself in the fire, suffering through the pain and evolving, or you are not doing that and staying the same, not getting closer to yourself. Even destiny bends for those who work. Is it destiny that really matters, or is it the process that counts in the end? In this capitalistic world, people are more focused on the results than the process of getting there. And I believe the process that they go through is very mundane, is very linear, where there is no reflection on the self, where there is no internal spiritual development. They think there is a simple formula, which is work hard equals to success. It's a very monotone way of thinking about success. There are various layers to our reality. You cannot define it in a linear term. Arjuna bowed down in front of Krishna, and Krishna showed Arjuna his true form and started narrating Gita to him. There was a certain line where Krishna said, "Do the karma, leave the results on me. I will decide what results to give and what not to." Then why should you work at all if your result is not in your hand? Because if you're being honest, results do matter. Why wouldn't they? You need certain validations for yourself to continue walking. But there, you need validation. That is the main part. There you develop yourself. Even if you don't get the validation, how willing are you to get the thing you want such that you do not need any results to motivate you? And how persistent you are with your desires, with your wants, with your needs, so that you are uh, taking any challenges that is coming head on to you and just standing through it like a rock, like a mountain. That's where your self develops, and that is where you grow and start getting closer to yourself, your consciousness. What you truly lack, you understand yourself better, you understand your surroundings better. But after saying all of this, I have delved into such a depth of yourself that now you might start obsessing over yourself, and that is not completely the best way to go about it, because order and chaos, the yin and yang, always do come together. You have to know when to think about self and then when to focus on the surroundings, so that you are not just focused on so much of the internal that you forget about the external, because you are living in a reality and you construct your own reality. Reality is nothing but a perception of you, yourself. So you have to interact with the outside world, the externalities of yourself, to be able to be a part of this reality. Else you are just a token in the universe. We'll talk more about the external in a later video, but today it was about the internal, and we went through the depths and depths of it. So the title of this video is going to be the internal. I for internal.